The West African Senior School Living Certificate, popularly known as WAEC, just recently came out with a timetable, and yeah, a lot of SS3 students are freaking out. I mean, guys, so you have less than a month to prepare for this examination, which will determine whether you go into uni or not. So guys, in this video I've decided to show you how you could prepare for this examination in just 1 month. How to prepare for WAEC in 1 month. If you're ready, let's get right into the video. So guys, as you know, I've done a video like this on my channel, which I'm going to leave the link in the description box down below. That video is more explicit, but I decided to make this video again because that video was actually a video I just made getting on YouTube, but now I'm wiser now and I can put out the information better. And yeah, with these tips you'll be able to prepare for your WAEC examination in even the less than 1 month if you stick to it and you pay constant dedication to ensuring you carry each and every one of them out. So guys, let's proceed to the first one. As much as that sounds kind of stupid or that sounds kind of weird, I want you to put in mind, set goal for each subject, because whatever goal you set will determine how much work you put into that subject. Okay, quick story about me, guys. As for me, my goal was to get nothing less than C's, or basically nothing less than a B in most of my science subjects and my science courses, and I put in a lot of effort. As I've said on this channel, I wrote my examination when I was in SS2, and yeah, I got the majority of my WAEC result consisted of only B's and A's, and with just a minimum, I think with just 2 C's, and that shows you how setting, and these C's, with just 2 C's, and these C's are outside my main science subject. Basically, they are the subjects that I didn't prioritize as number 1. So guys, that should tell you that definition of goals really help you a lot when it comes to WAEC examination. So guys, let's get on to step number 2. This step is a very crucial step. Like, if you don't get anything from this video at all, please try as much as you can to get this step. Get your jotter. I'm actually reading from a book down, so get your jotter and jot this. Identify what you don't know. Guys, like, this is key. If you know what you don't know, the amount of work that you need to put in will be reduced, because you just go straight to what you don't know. I would have advised you to go through your whole syllabus and study everything on there, but you should know that you don't have that time anymore, and you just need to go straight into what you don't know. And how can you know what you don't know? That is very easy. It's very simple. All you need to do is get past questions. Like, this should be a point on its own. Yes, this is actually a point on its own. Get past questions. Why couldn't go to heaven to set questions from you? Me, as a result of doing past questions continuously, I found out that WAEC repeats a lot of questions. Like, they repeat so many questions, especially in the practical aspect. There are no more practicals to be done, so they just reshuffle or get a practical aspect and put it there. So this is a quick theory or quick advice for your practicals. Just study every calculation there on your practicals. Physics is basically 3 and chemistry is qualitative and quantitative, so just basically study all the practicals in the practical aspect and you should do very well. And for the past question, this is how you're going to use it. You're going to try as much theoretical, because as we know, why it consists of both objectives and theory. So you are going to do most of the theoretical aspects to see the questions or the topics you don't know. The ones you fail are certainly the ones you need to work on, and that is those are the topics you're going to make your priorities in your studying. The next thing you have to do is create a timetable. Like, as we all know, you guys, as people, are still going to school, and yeah, you might not have enough time for you to actually study per se. That is why it is important for you to create out time, map out time for yourself, because sometimes you get drowned in schoolwork that you don't even have the time to study. Yes, they are teaching you everything, but you still need to study. You still need some me time. You still need to refresh your memory based on what you have been taught. So I advise you to map out time for you to be able to revise or review your studying, and to basically go straight into what you don't know, because whether you like it or not, our teachers might not be able to complete the syllabus before the exam commences. So you have the responsibility of doing it all on your own. So I'll advise you guys to dedicate at least an hour or two, maybe each day, studying as much topics as possible, or even using much past. If you have only 1 month, you have to study virtually every day and do a lot of past question. I advise you can do your past question before studying or after studying. I notice there is no any particular structure, but you can actually do it before and after. But if you're doing it before, make sure you do it after. If you're doing it after, make sure you do it before, because it sometimes helps in facilitating the studying, because you're going to be seeing questions that, oh, you studied this, or you're going to even feel like, oh, these are questions that I really need to pay attention to. So get your past questions and let's create that timetable to suit the topics we don't know. Join study groups. As funny as that sounds, there are a lot of study groups. There are study school groups in our school, there are study groups on WhatsApp, there are study groups on Facebook, there are study groups virtually everywhere. And the best thing you can do is find a study group that satisfy your taste, and but make sure that whatever study group you're joining is a study group that have your interest at heart. Or why will I put it, you guys have common goals of being the best, and you guys respect that, and don't come there and make noise and chit chat and get carried away, because sometimes we waste our time in study groups that are not even helpful. If you see your study group isn't helping you, I think you need to back off and start doing your own studying. But joining study groups is very important, because they are going to really help you in covering also topics that you might have neglected, or you might just have just left or abandoned. You can meet somebody and the person will be able to summarize it with you. I joined a lot of study groups. Shout out to all my classmates who helped me out. And like I said, I was just in SS2 when I was writing my first WAEC. If you want me to do a video on why I was writing it in SS2, I can do a video on that. But I was just in SS2 when I was writing this WAEC, and I had to be friends with the SS3, which are the final years. And yeah, I located people that were good and I asked them for help, and we created a sort of like a study group, and they kind of taught me. Shout out to all the amazing people who taught me what I know. These are things we already know, and that is: one, settle down and read the instructions. There are a lot of times that we are rushing, especially in the use of English. When it's time to use antonyms, we are busy using synonyms because we didn't read the instructions. It's going to be boldly written there, and I want you, before you rush into anything, you have settled down and you have gone through each and every one of the question sets, or else you might end up doing nonsense. So guys, for the next thing I would want you to do is to start with the questions you're comfortable with. Don't sit down there and be crying or weeping over the hard ones. Go to the simple ones. If you don't know the hard ones, let it be. Start with the simple ones. Start with the questions you want. Either you start with the hardest or you start with the simplest. As for me, I start with questions that I crammed for. I'm not going to lie, because I did some sort of cramming, and yeah, that is what I basically do. I just start with the questions I cram for, then I move to the simple one before the hard ones. Like, that is my own structure, and you should know your structure, whether you start from the hardest to the simplest, but you should make sure that you're time efficient. That is why I want you to practice a lot with past question. Time yourself, because you won't have all day to write this examination, and it's very important that you pass it only once, so that you won't be shamed or mocked because you're wearing the school uniform again. Is you should not neglect it. Don't neglect any option, especially when it comes to mathematics. Sometimes your steps are being marked, so even if you don't get the final answer at the end of the day, you are sure of getting some marks, because the examiner or the person marking your script saw you made an attempt. So please don't leave that question space blank. Fill it up. Like, fill it up. Okay guys, so for the next one is when it comes to English, I want you to practice the art of summary and essay answering comprehension questions, because those are basically the areas that your questions are going to come out from. And if you're really good at this aspect, you are going to be a bomber. Your exam is going to be a bomber. Okay guys, yeah, I have gotten a lot of times when back then I used to hear that, why are we studying for this exam? Answers will come. There are always answers on Facebook group. Yes, sometimes the examination gets leaked and you can see the answers on Facebook, but what if it doesn't come? Would you wait for something that is non-existent? I would advise you to don't lose the habit of studying, because even when you get into uni, there is no running away. You still have to be able to sit down and make that grind, or else you're going to lose your grades, or better still, if you're in medicine like I am, if you are not used to the grind, you're going to be overwhelmed with work. You're going to eventually be dropped out of medical school, which we don't want to happen. So I would advise you to start learning, cultivating the habit of studying for now. Learn how to study for maybe long hours, learn how to stay focused, and yeah, you should have it all covered. So guys, those are some of my tips, and yeah, if you want any more on maybe how I plan my WAEC timetable or whatever, please leave it in the comment section down below. I promise to get to that as soon as possible. As for now, I'll advise you to click that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so that anytime I make a new video, you're not going to miss anything. You're going to be among the first few people to get my latest video. Thank you so much for watching this video. Until next time, bye.